Greetings everyone, and I'm really glad to see you all today at another episode of Unscripted Stuff. And before we begin, I prepared a drink for you. It's really hot today, so I wanted to make you an iced tea. But actually, due to heat, its ice cubes almost melted. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy it still. Just listen to the sound. Kind of cool. So I'll place it near you. Just drink carefully because it's really cold, actually. So recently, during the last unscripted video, I found it really fun to poke into that human psyche to see how the human brain works in certain situations, so I could imitate your behavior and inquisition will not come for me too soon. So I wanted to discuss another peculiar phenomena. And if you play video games, this will be relatable for you. If not, well, at least I hope this will be boring enough so you could relax and sleep during this video. So, if you have played a game where is a character editor, when you can customize your character, you know that it's a big deal for many people. Well, I mean, like there's a whole special Olympics going on the internet where people show off their video game characters and they invest more time, money and effort in their character's look that I do in my own look for this video. And I wanted to figure out why this happens. Because it's not always about beautiful characters. Sometimes they are funny, sometimes they are just exotic, original. Sometimes people try to recreate some existing personalities like Jake Gyllenhaal or Andrew Tate or something in between. Don't worry, Jake Tate isn't real, he can't hurt you. So I made some notes of myself. I hope you don't mind if I will have a look into those sometimes, because it's really memory consuming for me to speak English and act smart at the same time. I have only enough RAM for one of these things. Anyway, let's get to it. I figured a few reasons why we like to, fine-tune our video game avatars. And the first one is self-expression, and kind of obvious, of course. There's this dude named Abraham Maslow who created a hierarchy of human needs, from some basic physical needs to survive, actually, to social needs, and on the very top of that list is the need to self-express through creativity, through some creative tasks, to commit some fulfillment, And of course, video games give us just this opportunity, and it's very accessible. According to another science dude, actually there's two people, they are multiplying on the way. It's Edward Deci and Richard Ryan. They created a self-determination theory that emphasizes the importance of feeling autonomous and competent in your self-development. And what is more autonomous and competent part of any game than creating the character? Because later the game's plot can lead you, and there's really not much you can do if the developers decided to make you suffer by doing some shitty stuff with your character, like in Cyberpunk. But creation of this character is a very autonomous process. No one in the right mind will tell you how to customize your character, and you feel very competent because you have the control not only on the game events but on the very appearance of that in-game person that represents you. And this feeling is very pleasant. And also this regards almost every part of my, let's say, research, although I'm no scientist, no psychologist, I'm just having fun. But almost every part of almost every take has something to do with dopamine. Of course, our meat drug dealer produces dopamine and rewards us for everything that we find pleasing or interesting or enjoyable. So let's move on to the next take. Identifying yourself with a character. There's a thing, let me see. My cat is coughing and it's great. I hope it's okay. So let's move on to the next part, and that is identifying yourself with a character, because sometimes we may feel like this video game character is a continuation of our own self, and feelings that this character lives through kinda impact us as well. Why this happens? There's also this dude called James Gee, who made researches about video games, and he figured a process known as process of double identity. What does it mean? In simple words, as far as I understood, it's when us gamers feel our video game avatar at the same time as continuation of our personality, like our mirror, our representation in that game, and simultaneously as a separate person. And this allows us to mentally exist in two places at the same time, in virtual world and material real one, and perceive everything that happens in both worlds like something meaningful and important. So what does it have to do with customization? Because the very first step to feel that connection with this character is actually creating it. And the more, effort and time you will invest in creating this character, the more thought through will this character's look be. When you implement your vision of maybe beauty of something attractive or just some idea of yours, the more person will be attached to these characters. This allows us to feel everything that happens in the game more emotionally. This is beneficial for us because we are being more involved, and this game is more like fun experience for us. And of course this is beneficial for game developers, because the next day they will roll a huge report saying that players spent over 100 hours in their game, and the first 5 of which are in the video game editor, in the character editor. So yeah, but there's one downside. On the other hand, when something bad happens to your character, when this character suffers loss or maybe is in danger, this can affect us too. So you need to be aware of that. Also, this process of editing our character to our taste, our liking, has something to do with the feeling of control. There's this thingy called locus of control. I'm really trying so hard to look smart right now. So this locus of control is kind of concept. When this locus is internal, it's pointed inward on yourself, such people tend to feel more confident in their capability to impact different events in their life. They feel like everything that happens to them is either their achievement or their fault, and this reduces stress action. I use an elevator at midnight during the curfew. Anyway, if that locus of control is external, when it's pointed outward, then this person will tend to feel helpless and powerless and blame everything that happens to that person on some external forces, and believe that this person decides nothing, everything is determined by something or someone else. And it doesn't take to be a scientist to guess that In the first case is more beneficial for our psyche because we feel more safe when we are in control of everything, which is obviously not possible, but it's nice to think so. And the creation of video game character gives us just this feeling, in my opinion, because we are not just in control of in-game events, but of the very look of the appearance of this character. It's like creating a new human without consequences of being a parent. So this also helps to reduce stress. This can raise our self-esteem and make us more motivated because we feel that now we can achieve the desired results in this game. Alright, let's go to the next point. Oh, this one is my favorite. It's about social relations. Well, just like in real life, when rich people, filthy rich people, decide to choose, impression on poor people over their own comfort as a driver, then they begin to flex a Lamborghini and use it everywhere they go. And I think there's also no need to be a scientist to come to a conclusion that people tend to feel better when they get either positive feedback from others, from society, when their look can make them accepted to some desired social group, maybe, like those teenagers looking weird. Maybe just make some people envy that you are rich and you are cool. It's like when in real life you will flex your golden wristwatch, and in video game you will wear some exclusive pieces of gear that can only be bought for real money or achieved in some trials. And yeah, about real money in a game. Many people like to buy some outfits that can only be purchased for, cash. And even if no one of your friends will notice it or tell you anything, I promise they will notice it and think that you are rich. So if making people feel envious of you is your thing, then this is a good way to do it in a virtual world. No blame here. I have a few paid outfits in Destiny myself. On the other hand, unlike in real life, where sometimes the results of our actions can be kind of random almost, in video game you have strict set of conditions you have to meet to get a reward in the form of quests. And the harder this quest will be to complete, the greater reward. So if you will, waltz through the social locations in a game with some unique weapon, or maybe if it's not a game about fighting, there will be some unique decorations for your virtual house, maybe. Everyone will know that you are probably a very skilled and dedicated player if you could pull that off and actually obtain that thing. Because unlike in real life, in game, you usually cannot have a rich parents or sugar daddy that will come through that dungeon or raid for you, and this will all be your achievements, which in a way can make people feel better than the others. And good or bad the feeling is, but it's very, very pleasant for our brain. Let's move on to the next part, and this is aesthetical aspect. Well, obviously when we look at something beautiful, something appealing, we feel kind of better. And this feeling of, considering something beautiful consists of so many factors, like, the shape, the color palette, the symmetry, the harmony, the composition. And these criteria differs from person to person, from culture to culture. So it's always great when in character editor you have a lot of tools. So for example, you can change the race of the character or maybe some other visual enhancements. In a way, character customization can be considered a form of art, I think, because some people spend so much time and effort to make their characters really unique, and on the other hand, other people can appreciate it and they are interested in seeing the results of this customization. That this is really just what regular art do. I'm not saying real art because I don't want to sound like an old fart from art university. Art comes in all shapes and sizes, you know. So unlike some old-fashioned art, let's say, that requires maybe some specific tools, maybe some skills, time, much more time. For example, if you want to write a poem or learn how to play violin, you need to put a really lot of time and money and effort into that. But character creation is available for everyone who purchases this game, and it's available without any specific skills. It's something you can do right away in the very beginning of the game. And as previously said, our brain do not make a real difference whether you are a Da Vinci painting his Mona Lisa, or you're just perfecting your Skyrim character, or recreating Beavis and Butthead in Sims. This all feels like art, which means if it feels like art, it looks like art, it smells like art, then it's art. And of course, this is very pleasant and stimulating for our brain, because in these conditions we have to be really creative. We have used a limited set of tools of this game to create something really unique, or maybe to implement our vision. And sometimes it might be really challenging because, for example, the game might not have the right tools, and some people might even create mods and post them online for other people to use, not for some functional, purpose, but for the sole sake of making your character look unique and to fit your tastes. So yeah, this is art now, officially. I said so. But you say, Anna, what if I don't spend my time on this stuff? What if I just don't want to waste time on it? I'd say it's okay. It's totally fine. Some people are just not interested, and you may just skip this character customization part, leave everything on default settings, get your own Chris Evans and proceed to the game as soon as possible. So this just means you have different priorities. Maybe you're not interested in that and you're exercising more functional approach. You want to save time on this because maybe you just have different values, and the look of your character will not affect your pleasure from the game in any positive or negative way. Maybe you're just a person of simple taste and you just like how everything looks on default settings. This kind of happened for me in Skyrim when I created the Khajiit. So, or maybe you just have unpleasant experience previously. This may happen too, because in some games this process can be really challenging or boring, or just no matter how hard you try, your character will turn out ugly anyway. And this might be a bit discouraging. So whatever the reason is, it's okay to just not doing it. The conclusion. There will be no conclusion or my opinion on what is the right or wrong way to play a game, because the main purpose of playing a game is to have fun, is to have a good time. So whatever suits you, whatever you feel like doing, will be the right choice. Yeah, this is kind of very general words and they sound kind of obvious, but that's how I see it. So don't listen to anyone. If you want to customize your character, make an exact copy of yourself maybe, or just some unique design and share it with other people. So this is really cool. This is your hobby. You're free to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's alright, just skip it already and get to the game's plot. And this will be all for today. I'm really glad that you spent this time with me. You made me a company. And if you're going to sleep, I wish you all the sweetest dreams. And if not, I wish you the best of luck and very pleasant day ahead. And we will see each other real soon in the next episode of Roleplay ASMR.